Hi, my name is Max Respis, and today I'll be talking about the American culture video. So I read the article and I found it extremely interesting. Based on how their tribe is seen, where it is located, how they have an economy or the currency they use, or just how they operate as a whole. I found that to be very interesting. And the thing that I found extremely interesting was the idea of shrines in the house, and how people are regarded as being more powerful or important depending on how many shrines are located in their house. And the more poor people, they build makeshift shrines in their house, to imitate that. And I also found it very interesting how they have boxes that people put things in, and how men are treated, how women are treated. It's a very interesting tribe. And the other thing that really struck me was the whole obsession with the mouth and how they believe that the mouth is filled with evils. I found that very interesting. The people go to the medicine man or the medicine men, and they try to right the wrong. And if there is no wrong, then they'll create a wrong to add their magical herbs or magical healing powers. Or I find that very interesting, and there's a lot of pain that goes into that. And both the medicine man and the person experiencing it do get some form of pleasure out of it because they think it's doing the right thing. So as the article stated, and I completely agree, that is definitely a form of sadism and masochism, which is very interesting. Also, how people go to the medicine man when they're sick, or pregnant, and some of them don't come back out and they die in there, and they willingly go in there knowing that this happened. It's like, wow, that is not something I would ever want to experience. But also, they were brought up in it. I was not. I also found how women bake their heads in ovens to be very, very peculiar. I cannot lie. So, a communication pattern, practice, or ritual or event that goes on in my culture, would be practicing and following holidays, birthdays, getting together. Personally, my family tries to get together for every single birthday we have, every single holiday there is, and we also try to get together once every other week, or twice a month. My family's very big on that core value, family life, and I think that there's other cultures that don't view that as necessary or important. So they don't really celebrate birthdays as much. They don't celebrate holidays. They don't get together too often. Uh, Excuse me. And I think that the American culture is very keen on that, more so than others. Um, and when those people come to our country, with those different cultures, I think it's very interesting for them to see, and a culture shock for them to see how important and close knit some families are. Um, Granted, you know, some cultures do feel that way and they do see it as important, but they don't do it to the extent that I think the American culture does it. I think that's a really good thing and important thing that we hold that dear to ourselves, especially my family, in particular. We do that a lot. So we have a big group chat. And we're a big family, of like 25 people. So big group chat. We're constantly talking, trying to make plans, see how everyone's doing. I think it's a big practice, slash ritual slash event that is seen in my family and seen in other families across America. Um, I think this practice has changed a lot through history. Honestly, I think before it was more or less the same as it is now with my family. But I think throughout the later 1900s and the early 2000s, I think it fluctuated. At some points, it was whatever. It doesn't really matter. That's not the life we're living right now. And at other points, it was holidays, birthday parties, family events. Let's get together. Let's get together. And I think in today's world, it's starting to drift apart again due to the internet, and how disconnected people are becoming due to that. And I think that's definitely something that needs to be addressed. And I definitely, even as a 21-year-old, I try to stay away from the internet as much as I possibly can and remain in the real world. I think that's, a very important thing to do. And I think, in the end, it's gonna help. Um, and I also think another way that has evolved over time is families have come from other countries and have been able to see how it is to us and how important it is to us. And some of them have been able to evolve their cultures and their practices to better fit America and its cultures. So I think that allows for like a melting pot of cultures and people of different creeds, color, whatever, and they all can come together and kind of learn from one another. And they bring cultures from their country and ideas, practices, etc. that we adopt or shape in our own way. And I think that's a good evolution that we've seen over time. Um, and then I think these evaluations are mainly beneficial to us as a whole, especially how there's a melting pot. Like I said, I think that's extremely beneficial. It allows for everyone, especially in America. So that's a big thing in America. I think it allows everyone to get an idea of what the world really is without seeing the entire world. And I think that's really helpful, especially where we're headed and how the world has been throughout the past couple years, especially the last 2 years. Um, I also think it's beneficial because it allows us to remain close to the ones that are closest to us, and remain kind of grounded in the world versus off somewhere else, such as the internet or on your own, completely solitary. I think both those things at times can be good, but overall they're not going to end up bringing you somewhere better versus if you're grounded in reality, trying to make connections, trying to spend time with the people you love most. And I do think that the way how the country is moving towards just being completely online and being connected through the internet is very detrimental, especially to the youth, including myself. I'm only 21. I think that's a very detrimental thing that needs to be checked and limited. I think more people need to get off the internet and come together, be together. And I think that will continue to bring unity and prosperity to our country and allow us to continue growing versus regressing and going backwards without even realizing it until it's too late. So that's my video. I appreciate your time. I have a great rest of your day.